We will be here for 3 days for the mentors and training sessions. I'm Burak Buyukdemir. I'm the founder of Startup Istanbul and Etohum. We are an accelerator in Istanbul, founded 7 years ago. We select every year startups, mentor, and train them. And Startup Istanbul is in the third year, but Startup Turkey, which we organize also a conference, is the 7th year. This is the same kind of conference. So we are very happy to welcome and also thank Microsoft to host here for the second time at Startup Istanbul event. We have received nearly more than 1,500 applications for Startup Istanbul Challenge, and we selected 100 startups, which will be 3 days here, having also meeting lots of mentors and investors. So the next 2 days will be, we will have speech and also presentations, and we will be giving you feedbacks depending on your business model, pitching, presentations, and all kinds of other details. And you will be having chance to meet lots of startups from different kinds of countries. We have received applications from 78 countries. Of course, we are in Turkey, and most of the, probably you will meet startups from Istanbul, but you will see lots of countries as well. Today's program will be, in the morning we will have Ozan and Amal, and afterwards Fadi and Selçuk, as far as I remember in the program. And in the afternoon we will have one-to-one mentorship sessions, which we will split the rooms to 4, and the mentors will be in the rooms and giving you feedbacks on your pitches, and not on your presentation skills, but also about asking probably questions about business models, competition, market size, and etc. Most of the investors will going to ask you in the 3rd of October in the demo day. So the mentors will also select the 50 startups depending on the criteria of whether these startups ready for to pitch in front of the investors, depending on the quality of presentation skills and also business plans and other variables as well. So the 2 days will be the same, most of the things. I mean, speakers will be different, of course. We will have a boat tour, Bosporus boat tour today at 6 o'clock after the mentorship sessions. There will be buses will be taking you to the Bosporus, to the boat trip. So please do not leave the Microsoft afterwards, because otherwise we cannot find you. Probably you will have difficulties with the traffic of Istanbul. If you have kinds of these things, please ask our team. Elif is here and Jem is there. Probably raise your hand. Gizem and Aslı is there, probably outside. This is also Hilmi is over there. Efe, they're outside. So I'd like to, our team will help you in a kind of all problems you have, not only your startups, but also your hotel or kind of other problems. Please ask us, we will guide you. The 3rd day is the demo day. This room will be full of investors from different countries as well. They will be listening to you. The 50 startups will be selected from the mentorship sessions, depending on the mentors and investors' feedbacks. We'll be presenting their startups 2.5 minutes in front of the investors on the 3rd day. And the 5th is the conference. 50th conference will be in Lütfi Kırdar, which is one of the biggest venues of Istanbul. It is also downtown, very center of the city. And probably there will be 1,500 people all day. There are lots of speakers. There are nearly 60 speakers and mentors all of Monday. They will be in 2 parallel sessions. And Steve Lang, Dave McClure, Morten Lund, and lots of other speakers will be with us. And this is the briefly all 5-day program. And Sunday is most of free. You can have Istanbul trip and leave Istanbul. There are lots of places to see and also lots of things to eat. If you have any questions, please, I am very happy to answer anytime. So I would like to give Javed, and he is hosting us here for the second year. I would like to thank again Microsoft, on behalf of Microsoft to Javed. Thank you.
Thank you, Burak. So good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being in Istanbul, for being at the Microsoft office and being in this beautiful Startup Istanbul event. I hope that for the next 4 or 5 days, you'll learn a lot from each other, you'll learn a lot from us, and you'll earn a lot of money as well in terms of investments. And I hope that these 4 or 5 days will be fruitful for all of you. As Burak mentioned, Istanbul has a lot to offer in terms of food, in terms of sightseeing, and in terms of other opportunities. But I think the biggest opportunity lies in this room. And the biggest opportunity lies in terms of learning from each other. I think during the next 4 or 5 days, you will learn a lot from each other as much as you learn from us and as much as we learn from you. I'm humbled by the amount of energy and by the amount of intellectual capacity in the room, because when I see the room, I see, you know, lots of startups from all over the world that have potentially becoming, that have the potential of becoming unicorn sometime in the near future. And we hope to be able to help you along the way together with Startup Istanbul. We are delighted to host the event for the second year in a row. We think that this is one of the biggest events in this region in terms of bringing together entrepreneurs, startups, and potential investors. And last year, when we hosted the event, we experienced the development of the teams from here to Lütfi Kırdar, and then from Lütfi Kırdar to, in some cases, San Francisco, the Valley. So having experienced this growth, this phenomenal growth among these startups, I challenge you to spend most of the time to learn from each other and learn from us in that regard. As Microsoft, we are hosting this event as part of our global BizSpark program. The BizSpark program enables startups to use Microsoft technologies and tools for free for 3 years, provided that they are part of the BizSpark program. We work with partners globally, and Startup Istanbul is a member of our BizSpark network partners. Last year, we defined a new category within the BizSpark program, and this category says if you're spending a lot of cloud consumption on Azure, then you have the potential to go up to $10,000 of Azure consumption for free, provided by Microsoft to you. And this only happens through our channel partners. And Startup Istanbul is one of those channel partners. So if you have a startup that is using .NET or PHP or Linux, or whether you're developing on C# or MySQL or any open source technology or Microsoft technology, then come to us. Make sure that you use Microsoft technologies for free, including Azure, our cloud services, and make sure that if you're spending a lot, if you have the potential to boom, these guys enlist you to the BizSpark Plus program so that you can consume more for free. So having talked about Microsoft, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here in the room because I know that the last thing you want to do here in the morning is to listen to Microsoft talk about itself. So I'm going to hand it over back to Burak. Thank you, Burak, for this wonderful event.
Now I would like to have short introductions to mentors. So whenever you see them, get them and get feedbacks for your startups. So I'd like to start with Aurora.
Lovely, love to start. Hi, my name is Aurora Belfrag. I'm Swedish, hi. I came last night, thrilled to be here. I love that you took up the food thing, because I'm obsessed with aubergine. So as soon as we go out of here and we're gonna have some aubergine, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I founded a company called Wrap, co-founded it with my Swedish rockstar geeks who were also the previous founders of Spotify. We created a board that I love to brag about. So the founder of Skype, Mr. Niklas Stenström, joined the board, and the founder of LinkedIn, Mr. Reid Hoffman, joined the board. And now since 2 years back, I'm working mainly in the startup space in the Middle East as an advisor and an angel investor. And I will be emceeing the main stage on Monday.
That's true. Thank you, Aurora. And Amal.
Thank you. Good morning. I like a very loud one. I like a nice response. Good morning. Now I'm energized and I'm ready for the day. My name is Amal Dukhan. I come from Saudi Arabia, and I work in King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. And we run 2 accelerators, myself and my colleague Ozan over there. So we'll be very happy to listen to you and to hear all your stories, your startups, and the amazing ideas that you have. I had 2 companies previously in Dubai, and I'll be pleased really to talk about it later on when I have the chance to do that. Very pleased to be here and very nice to meeting you all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Fadi Bishara. I'm originally from Syria. I live in Silicon Valley for the past 23 years. I founded a couple of companies. I run an accelerator right now called Black Box. We focus on helping startups from outside of Silicon Valley, primarily from outside of the US, get connected and set up co-presence and raise money and go global based with resources with Silicon Valley. We have a program that we run, and we've had over 155 companies graduated. We've had 4 exits. I've worked with a lot of startups from mostly outside. That's what I've been working with in the last 4 years. So I'm happy to be here and work with you, and especially if you have any specific questions about Silicon Valley. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Utku Azman. I'm also from Sweden. That's not true, I'm Turkish. So has anyone heard of Citus Data? Okay, see, next time someone asks you, you will all have to raise your hands. Citus Data is a Silicon Valley-based startup. I'm one of the first employees there. And we are a YC alum. We were in the 2011 batch. So I was in your shoes not too long ago. And I'm hoping that in the next 2-3 days, I'll be able to share some of that experience with you. Glad to see so many faces from around the world here. If you have any questions about Istanbul, I'll be happy to help as well. I spent about 14 years abroad in the US, in the UK, but now I'm back in Istanbul and fully adjusted. I can give you recommendations on food or anything else if you want to.
Hi everyone, I'm also Turkish. My name is Onur Aydın. I'm the VP of e-commerce for the largest retailer in Turkey called Boyner. We are a group of companies from the largest private shopping site in Turkey to the largest department stores. We own all of them. And today, I'm in this room and I'm interested in startups that are related to retail and also private shopping or e-commerce or omni-channel in general. Previous to this job, I was the GM of Groupon in Turkey for 2.5 years. And during that time, I also did angel investing in some of the Turkish startups. And also, I started an online donation platform for schools across Turkey. So I'm kind of a social entrepreneur as well. If you are in that area, I would be very interested to get to know you as well. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ross Kingsland. I own 4 consultancies. The main thing that I focus on, and the reason why I'm here, is I look specifically at startup growth and how do we accelerate that, particularly with the terms to media manipulation, growth hacker marketing, and all other fancy terms that you'll love and enjoy. My basic premise for being here, my goal, is to give you some of the tools and tips that I've used with some of the big companies such as Uber, Protein World, TransferWise. We're at all different stages of their own growth and startup, and I think that a lot of the principles you can use today and you can take away. So I hope to give you that, and I hope you get a lot of value from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. And Ed.
Good morning, everybody. I will lose the tie, I promise you, by tomorrow. My name is Edward Roberto. I'm the Vice President of Emerging Markets for Techstars out of Boulder, Colorado. I'm very excited to be here. The Middle East and Turkey, Africa, some of Southeast Asia are all important markets for Techstars. My job is to understand how we enter these markets intelligently. My background is I've had 15 startups. Some have been spectacular holes in the ground. And I will tell you, you learn a lot doing that. 2 of the companies that I founded have gone IPO. And I will tell you, I don't ever want to work for a public company. So being an entrepreneur is the absolute best job in the world. Right? So I'm here all week to answer any questions and help in any way that I possibly can. And please, come ask me. Thank you.
So,
hi, my name is Moises. You can call me Musa. I'm coming from Spain. And this is my second time in here. The first time I met Burak, it was a fantastic job he was doing in here. And I'm an engineer. I work on international affairs for a long time. I'm writing a PhD right now on entrepreneurship in Muslim countries. So I want to learn from you. I'm listening from you. I was in the lane and I was listening magnific stories, magnific ideas. I'm also a co-founder of an investment firm, advisory investment firm in Spain, and we are focused on Muslim countries, but also in growth markets in Latin America and all this region. I mean, Spain is not present in here, so I want to be something like a bridge between this region and my country. Thank you, and this is a wonderful event. Come to me and ask me whatever you want.
Eric.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric. This is my second time. Thank you, Burak. Our startup Istanbul is amazing. I'm actually from Los Angeles, but I'm living in Tallinn, Estonia. I work with Startup Wise Guys. We're a B2B accelerator. The goal here would be to find some B2B companies, bring them over to Estonia, and help the Turkish ecosystem.
Hello, my name's Eamon Carey. I'm also with Techstars. I'm an entrepreneur in residence on their London program, and I work with a bunch of the companies across our programs in Europe, so London and Berlin. I've had 4 companies, 2 of which were spectacular failures, 2 of which were reasonable successes, a games company and a travel company, so I can tell you about the good times and probably a little bit more about the bad times. And I'm here to talk to a whole bunch of people. I lived in the Middle East. I've invested in a company in Turkey reasonably recently. I love this part of the world. I'm hugely optimistic for companies here and businesses here, and we're also here to see if there's interesting companies that we can bring in. Techstars family. So come find me. I'll be around all week. Thanks.
And Ozan. And yes, Steve is there? All right. Not miss any of them.
All right. Perfect. Give a round of applause for Burak and the team. He hates me when I do this. So my name is Ozan. You'll be hearing a lot from me. If you get sick and tired of my voice, just avoid me. I'm running 2 different accelerator programs with Amal. She's my better half. She doesn't like me when I say it, but I'm kind of the tough guy, and she's more empathetic, and she will nurture you more. I like to see some blood on the floor when I do mentorship, because I like what you do. Not because I don't think you will be successful, just because I think you will be successful. This is not a place, this is not a time where people will say, oh, you're great. This is probably the only time in your startup career when you will get very brutal, very honest feedback. investors, and correct me if I'm wrong, the investor guys, don't usually like to give the hard facts very bluntly because they don't want to have a bad reputation. How many of you hear a company called Airbnb? Really? Good. How many of you think not investing in Airbnb is a bad idea at their very early stage? Terrible idea, right? Do you know how many of the very fundamental successful investors have passed on investing in Airbnb? A lot of them. Take a look at there's a great email exchange between Paul Graham and, I forget the name. Who did the exchange the emails with? The largest investor in New York? Yes, Fred Wilson, thank you so much. So they were Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, was trying to convince Fred Wilson, one of the most successful investors, to invest in Airbnb for multiple times. They always passed. But they never say they passed because that will ruin a little bit of a reputation. But those two guys are very phenomenal successful, so they can now say they passed on those investments. You will be missing opportunities. Investors will be missing opportunities by not investing in you. And it's not their fault. It's your fault not to be able to convince them. So in these 3 days, your job is to get as many feedback as possible from everybody in the room, not just the mentors, not just investors, from each other. So you'll be better at what you do. That's the whole purpose of why we're doing this. And this is a very unique event. That's why we spent a lot of time building it with Burak and the team. So I will start with something I did last year, which kind of worked. Both me and Amal, we don't like people sitting, so you'll be jumping off. Laptops might fall. Last year it happened. So keep attached to your laptops. I don't want anybody to complain that I killed their Mac. If it's Windows, okay, but I don't want to kill the Mac. I was kidding. No, I know. I'm making that consciously. It's my second time. I've been hit before. So if you just can briefly get my presentation.
All right. Before getting your presentation, first of all, I missed some mentors. Didem is over there. Didem?
I thought
yes.
so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didem is there.
Hi everybody, I'm Didem Ünnateş. I work with Microsoft based in London. Very fortunate to be here, very happy to help you in any way I can. I have about 18 years background in business development and consulting. So I have been helping Microsoft ventures and accelerators around the world, as well as our partner accelerators in London. So I have about, I guess, a portfolio of 100 or so startups that I have been trying my best to add value to.
Hi guys, my name is Onur Koç. I work in Microsoft Turkey. I'm the Chief Technology Officer, so I'll be looking forward to work with you.